So let's begin. Governor Andy Beshear is warning the Commonwealth's budget projections could come up short. Kentucky will reach the end of its current two-year budget cycle next summer. He is concerned that both tariffs and an income tax cut that takes effect in January could negatively impact the budget. He says the state's budget director has called a meeting of the consensus forecasting group later this month to take a closer look and make possible revisions.
Federal tariffs and the uncertainty surrounding these tariffs are directly impacting our spending and our economic activity. Second, the cut to the income tax rate is going to cost the Commonwealth $359 million for this fiscal year, representing 1/2 of the annual value.
House Speaker David Osborne says he is somewhat skeptical it's a move to politicize the budget. In a statement to Fox 56, he asks why this was not mentioned sooner when the budget director spoke to lawmakers 2 weeks ago. Osborne says the group is already scheduled to deliver an updated economic outlook, and they continue to monitor economic conditions and revenue numbers with their economists. So, Representative Moore, I'm going to start with you here. Do you think this news is political?
I don't think so. The economy isn't just located here in Kentucky. We just saw new job numbers just come out at the end of this week as far as job growth not being what was expected. I think June's numbers were actually revised down. It was the first month of job loss in the U.S. since the pandemic. So that's not limited to Kentucky. One thing, though, about Governor Beshear is that he's called for that working group, the strategy group, to come together. And that doesn't mean that he's saying, oh, we have to do this. He's saying, let's hear from the experts, both economists and professors from across the state, to make sure we actually have a handle on this thing.
Representative Lockett, what do you think?
Well, I absolutely do believe that it's a political move. Because instead of going out to the media, instead of saying it on TV, he has yet to come to the people that actually make the budget. He's not come down the hall. He has not said anything to us at all. He is one that signed the income tax reduction as well. And you know, one of the things that we've seen out of this governor before is this same kind of theatrics. And so I'm very skeptical, but at the same time, we have our own economists, and we're going to see what happens by the end of the year. But the bottom line is we as a General Assembly are going to continue to craft budgets that only help Kentuckians.
Any response you have to that?
I think it's always going to be, either party is always going to see that there could be a political slant on what something in the other party is doing. So I'm not going to hurt or really disagree with what Rep. Lockett is saying there, because I understand where he's coming from. But the truth of the matter is, like, we do need to make sure that we have enough in the Budget Reserve Trust Fund, that we're being intelligent with the taxpayers' dollars as we do craft this next budget. And it sounds like it's going to be tight because of less funding coming in from federal programs due to the reconciliation bill that passed. And then also, if jobs are not growing the way that we expected them to, that's going to be another constraint on the economy as well.
Now, the Kentucky Lantern also reported that Senator McDaniel, the budget chair over in the Senate, says that we didn't hit a trigger to initiate that next tax cut. So how may that inform your approach to the budget whenever we start that 2026 session? The budget starts in the House, so you'll be a little bit closer to it whenever it at least gets going.
Well, think about we missed that trigger by about $7.8 million. So out of billions of dollars in the budget by not much, but those triggers are there for a purpose. And so that's so we don't see something like what happened in Kansas. And so I believe our approach, I believe as a General Assembly, as a House where the budget starts, we're all wanting to have a very responsible budget to make sure that there's not a shortfall.
What do you like to add?
I just want to say I agree with Rep. Lockett on that statement that we want to be intelligent about the way we brought it down. I think we both voted this past year to lower it from 4 to 3.5%. And actually, of the 7 states that we touch, we have a lower rate than 6 of those 7, with Tennessee being the only state with a lower income tax than we do. So we've gotten it pretty low. That's a success.
As we look ahead to that next session and whenever we have that next cut, whenever it may be, Beshear says that the next budget, he said in the same press conference, it may also have less revenue due to not just that cut, but also the added weight of SNAP that may be being put on the state from the federal administration. Can the state afford any of those added costs, or is there any concern that either of you have about that?
I think the numbers I've seen is over 2 years, we're supposed to take on an extra $110 million in administration fees that's passed on to the states now. If you've seen something different than that, Rep. Lockett,
yeah, I mean, that's about the same, but it all also comes down to our error rate. And so that's something that we are constantly monitoring. But I do know in terms of the extra dollars that we could have to put in for SNAP, we are ready to do that.
If there's any cuts that do have to happen in the next budget, what are the most likely areas that may be explored in order for some sort of reduction to happen?
I think that's a great question, and as we talk about the budget now, I don't have the answer for you.
Yeah, it may be a question better
little
suited for the
early.
budget share. We still got plenty of time to figure it out. On the tax cut, you mentioned that both of y'all supported this, maybe for different reasons. The timeline to actually get to zero, what would you like to see happen, and what may be the more realistic timeline you may see versus what you would like to see?
I think in terms of what I would like to see is I would like to have seen it happen yesterday. The goal is to allow Kentuckians to keep more of what they make while at the same time funding our government appropriately. And so in terms of a realistic timeline, I'm not sure. I think probably several years down the road. As you saw, we did not hit the trigger this time, so that still puts us back. But I think doing it in a responsible manner will absolutely get us to where we want to go.
Representative Moore, last word.
And let's keep taking a smart approach on this. Right now it's the half percentage point at a time as long as we meet our triggers. But I don't want to forsake good public schools, access to health care, things like that, that if we had to start making cuts to reach the zero. So we got to have that balance there and making sure Kentuckians do have what they need.
And there'll be plenty of robust debate on the House floor or the new House floor as we go into the next session.